So here I'm going to provide a review of the Vatican and the museum. So here we have an entrance from the front on the street where you see it is a walled-in complex, the old wall. You enter through the museum section first, where you can have to wait in a long line unless you buy the tickets first, which is something I recommend. So you would want to buy them online. And so here you see where we're inside the complex and the museums all around. So you see it starts off with paintings, for example, of famous people like Fra Filippo Lippi, which you can see it's a lot of these famous paintings that are often, of course, religiously based, and mostly based in that. Here we have Raphael and some of his famous works, and it's very amazing, very beautiful works of art. And the ceilings are always decorated. The Vatican has just beauty everywhere in various artworks of art. And you have an outside complex, a little bit of like a little plaza here, as you can see, where you walk through as you're in the museum, and just shows you how complex the architecture really is and how it's a really well-maintained site. So we have the statues area here, which is a lot of times a pre-Christian era. A lot of the Romans stuff and Greek stuff. It's quite a large room where they have a lot of statues to see, and some very important statues that are really interesting that you would really like to look at. Mostly carved from marble and other stone. For example, we have a lot of emperors here, a lot of the famous emperors with attractive busts. And you have, for example, Vespasian here, and it's actually a really good documentary that they really try to copy how this guy looks like right here. You have other people like Tiberius, other famous emperors that have been around. And then they have a really interesting Egyptian section in the museum, which kind of tries to show a little bit of the pre-Christian era and some of the early Christian era as well, and how Roman and Egyptian culture was really blending together with deities and such. And you see this example quite here where we have a lot of statues where we're kind of made in Roman style or Roman materials, but with very much Egyptian context. And you can see this in burial ritual, where you'll see in a second here an image of this man kind of looks like Roman style dress, and in the painting, where usually back then in the pre-Roman Egyptian times it would kind of be more of like a mask imprint. Well, now they just do drawings on the sarcophaguses instead. For example, the drawing of this man here. And they also do have pre-Christian works of art as well, and sculptures. For example, we have a lot of pagan stuff. So this whole area here was, I guess, like the pagan section of the Vatican, where we have common myths and legends being shown here in the statues that are made for these kinds of people. Then we have this room here. It's very beautifully made, where it was all about the different gods. For example, we have people like the Roman version of Athena, Artemis. So very beautiful, and of course, a dome architecture there. And so here was the hard part. It was like the huge line they'd have to go through. It was very, very busy, very packed, a little too congested. And this is all on the way towards the Sistine Chapel. So everyone's kind of rushing through a lot of these beautiful works of art here and sculptures that actually could be very interesting, that you can stick around for a while. But everyone wants to go to the Sistine Chapel. I know I did, but all the way on the way to the Sistine Chapel, you do have some very beautiful things you can look up in the ceilings. You have maps on the right from like from the Renaissance era. And then after you see the Sistine Chapel, which you can't quite videotape anything inside, unfortunately, they make sure that you have to be really quiet. But so I guess after you go there, you come into the main plaza, St. Peter's Plaza. And so you have, I guess, all the saints all around on top of these buildings, ringing around this plaza. It's very beautiful, with that obelisk there that, of course, was stolen from Egypt a long time ago and Christianized. So in the end, I would rate the entire Vatican 4 out of 5. Amazing works of art, beautiful, but just how packed it was, and the lines you always have to buy online, or otherwise you're waiting online.